Alright, everybody. This segment might possibly end up getting me involved in a little bit of drama, okay? Because I am tangentially talking about someone, I guess, who you could consider kind of a friend of the show, to a degree. And that is the YouTuber, Some Ordinary Gamers, aka Mutahar. Though we're not really talking about specifically him tonight, we're going to be talking about something relating to him, and the video that we're going to be covering and watching that goes over this definitely does not paint Mutahar in a very positive light. Elements, I will say, the stream has had no issues for anyone else, so it might just be you. Unless no one else has reported it. Anyway, obviously, I like Mutahar. I think he's a chill guy. I think he makes good videos. I think he makes pretty good arguments and tends to be a well-reasoned person. Originally, he became aware of my existence because I called him out in a video where he had basically claimed that the Anti-Defamation League had, claimed that Pepe the Frog was a hate symbol. That, if you use Pepe the Frog in memes or the imagery of him, then you're essentially doing the same as posting a swastika or something. And he did show the first page, the first paragraph and title of the ADL page for Pepe the Frog. And he didn't really elaborate much on that, but I did go on to show the rest of that page, where it goes on to say that, actually, no, Pepe the Frog is not always a Nazi symbol. He's a very popular meme, and people use Pepe completely innocuously all the time, so it is up to the person evaluating the post to determine whether or not it's being used in a racist way or not, since it has to be considered on a case-by-case basis. Very reasonable take, the most reasonable take you could have of something like that, and I pointed this out. Mutahar saw this and was like, oh, I didn't know that that it goes on to say that. I actually, my mistake. And he was chill with me after that. There was no drama. He responded very chill and very mature and normal to my, not very serious criticism. I never thought he was far right or anything. I just thought he had an unfortunate blunder in his reporting that might play into the hands of a certain political side with untrue claims that it's made in the past. So I like Mutahar. I want to be very clear here. I have no hate for Mutahar, but he's made a little bit of an oopsie-doopsie, and that's what gets called out in this video, but it's not so much the oopsie that Mutahar made that I want to call out, it's the fact that Mutahar is so far from being the only person to make this blunder, and I have been calling this out for a while now, and I feel this is finally a great opportunity to point to how YouTube content creators have looked past extremely disturbing types of content and large disturbing content creators for a while now. So for a little background, how many of you are familiar with the YouTuber Nux Taku? If you know of him, then you probably know of this meme. The worst thing to ever be created. He is the guy who wrote and sung this absolutely cognito hazardous video.
You're a twitch thought, nasty greedy witch thought, tier 3 grabbing bitch thought, pimping out your sim thought. I'm the chat type, Barry Poggers mad type, Monka is mad lad type, epic clapping rat type, Twitch is hentai.
So, from that video alone, I think you get an idea of what this guy's deal is. He has possibly the most obnoxious voice that could possibly ever be manufactured, even in the darkest depths of hell. It's just nails on a chalkboard just to listen to for me, I have to say. I genuinely despise his voice. Guys, this might surprise you. What do you think Nux Taku looks like in real life? I assumed a guy like this has to be, as weird looking as a guy can be, right? Are you ready to see someone disturbingly normal looking behind that profile picture? This is what he looks like. It's actually disturbing how normal he looks. It's not even that he's a good looking guy, he's just a normal looking guy. No way. What? Yeah, I know. I was surprised too. Yeah, he looks like Tyler Oakley. I was like, what? Why does he look like a well-to-do British gay dude? That was the immediate reaction I had. Like, I didn't expect him to look British and gay. Like, that was not my expectation. I don't know why, but he just has British vibes here. He looks British to me. Don't know why. Maybe it's just how pale he is, and the glasses and the mug kind of just give British vibes. He seems British and a little gay, a little bit gay, a little bit like a well-groomed. He's got that nice clean shave and everything. He definitely cares for his hygiene well, or at least did for this photo, more than most straight men that I know. So I will say I was quite surprised. I was quite surprised. However, if you know anything else about Nux Taku, you can probably tell what his politics are, judging by the fact he seems to have a pretty strong distaste for Twitch girls who show a lot of booba. But not just that, he's, gone on long rants about, like, cringe, woke, SJW, that kind of stuff. He's very publicly conservative, like, right-leaning. But it's not just that. If you've seen his content, then there is really one word you have to describe this guy, and that is gooner. Nux Taku is a fucking gooner, and skates uncomfortably close to lolicon territory very often. And if you watch his content, I don't watch it, but I've seen his videos recommended, you'll see that he does a lot of videos either A, reacting to hentai, or B, reacting to episodes of children's shows. So half of his videos are him reacting to, like, episodes of children's shows, which obviously attracts a younger audience, and then the other half of his videos are him reacting sometimes to, as uncensored as he possibly can get away with, hentai. And in some cases, the hentai is lolicon, and sometimes the hentai is incest hentai, and sometimes it's both. And he reacts to and reviews it for the memes, ironically, on his show. Does this sound like anything to you guys? Does this sound familiar to you guys? Sounds to me a lot like Shadman. Man, you guys got to get Vosh off your mind. This is not similar to anything to do with Vosh's situation. This sounds like Shadman to me, is what it sounds like. Because Nux Taku, friends with a lot of big YouTubers, publicly, at the very least lolicon adjacent, frequently posting pornographic content for a heavily minor leaning audience. If you read the comments on his videos where it's him reacting to hentai, a lot of the comments are things like, dude, what the fuck, I'm 11. Dude, what the fuck, I'm 10. And it's not like adults commenting that as a joke, like it's a meme in his community or whatever, that you can tell from the profile pictures, the names, the way that these comments are written. They're from actual kids who are like, what the fuck did I just watch on this guy's channel? It's like half the channel is bait to bring in kids, and the other half is either at best meant to traumatize kids, at worst, there's some sort of sick desire being fulfilled by showing kids this type of content. So a smaller creator by the name of Nicandros made this video called Mutahar Nunt, because recently, Nux Taku had his associations with Shadman, the Nazi lolicon artist, exposed. Shouldn't surprise you, those two were friends at all. And while I did draw the comparison between the two because they knew each other, they're friends, that is a fact that exists, I also think even outside of them, even if they didn't know each other, these two situations are so similar to me, and I want to dig deep into it. So, Nicandros made this video because recently Nux Taku has been getting canceled for his associations with Shadman. And because of these associations with Shadman, people are looking deep into every big YouTuber who is associated and supported and collab with Nux Taku. One of these content creators is Mutahar. Other content creators include Turkey Tom, Oompaville. I mean, think of a large content creator. If they lean even remotely centrist or right, they've definitely collabed with Nux Taku. Because Nux Taku's whole thing is getting clout off of content collabs. And this content creator called out Mutahar for, Mutahar would rather you did not have an accurate reminiscence of how close he was to Nux Taku. And I'm sorry, Muta, if you see this video and you don't like that I'm talking about it. I'm not going after you. I don't think people should cancel you for this. In fact, that's the opposite of the claim I'm trying to make here. In fact, I'm going to argue that the thing that people canceled Chris Tyson for initially, which was the having quote-unquote been a fan of Shadman, and Mutahar having associated with Nux Taku, is not these YouTubers secretly showing that they're pro-pedophilia or something. In reality, it is a tendency for content creators to enable bad actors like Shadman and Nux Taku until there is enough ill will against those figures that they are forced into a situation to be against them. But before then, no one wants to be the first person to call out that bad behavior and burn a bridge with a large, well-respected YouTuber. A good example of a figure who is blowing up and thriving right now, despite being a publicly open lolicon, or two content creators in this realm, are Pipka Pipkin, a really large, like Nazi alt-right, like anime girl VTuber, and Revsesdesu, who is a male lolicon who uses like a 12-year-old girl vampire lolly profile picture, or not profile picture, VTuber avatar, VTuber Rick, and makes pro lolicon content. I actually discovered him and started covering him when he made a video about how Cyberpunk Edge Runners was based because they said that lolicon was good or something. Like there was something to do with like the character of Rebecca, where despite her being an adult, lolicons were trying to claim that she was a lolly, and that people memeing about how they like Rebecca means that Edge Runners has tricked the normie anime fans into admitting that lolicon is good. That was the claim from Rev Says Desu that I covered that initially had me going over his stuff. There are a lot of content creators, especially in the VTuber sphere, that are borderline, if not openly, pedophilic. And they're popular. They collab with big YouTubers because at the end of the day, they have a massive audience and no one wants to be the first person to call them out. In the case of me, when I called out Rev Says Desu, my channel received multiple false strikes in the months after I would cover Rev Says Desu anytime because the lolicons are so obsessive, they will false strike you non-stop. They will go after you because any attack against one of their own is attack against all of them. The only way for pedophiles to exist and have community online is to protect each other, and they protect each other violently and viciously. If you call out one pedophile with any audience or a community around them, their friends and their fans will come after you hard because they have to protect each other. They're bad people who want to do bad things, and they know what most people would do to them if they could, and they know they've got to stay together like a herd. Otherwise, normal people are going to, call them out, single them out, laugh at them, humiliate them, call them out for what they are, and everyone will laugh, and that'll be the best case scenario for them, right? And so this YouTuber called out Nux Taku for a lot of his cringe, creepy stuff he's done, which obviously I want to go over here, but also other big YouTubers who have collabed with Nux Taku. And I want to elaborate further into how this tendency, how we need to create a culture on YouTube where creators feel that clout and collab hype is not worth normalizing someone who is as evidently fucked in the head as Nux Taku. Let's watch this video. I've already seen it, by the way, which is why I decided to cover it. It was recommended in my Discord server, and I watched it because the thumbnail and title seemed interesting. I did not expect this YouTuber to do such a good job breaking this situation down and substantiating their points. Let's watch it.
In the aftermath of the confrontation between ChatLogic and Mutahar over Mutahar's podcast co-host Nuxtaku's content...
Mind you, by the way, if anyone wants my bias on this, where my biases would realistically lie if I wasn't being objective, I'm on friendly terms with Mutahar. ChatLogic has lied and claimed that I have, AIDS, and his editor has wished death on me when I announced that I had COVID. I believe another person involved in this who's called out Nux Taku here and Mutahar is Turkey Tom, who also hates me. I could go down the list of people who are actually with a platform calling this shit out and calling out Mutahar and Nux. they all hate me, ironically enough. They're people who have, due to completely separate drama in the past with politics and stuff, they fucking hate me. And yet, I'm still taking their side in this whole thing because they're the only motherfuckers out here that seem to have the balls to call out this shit, to call out this tendency for large normie content creators to associate and normalize people like Nux Taku. And hey, ChudLogic may be a shithead, but I respect the fact that he's actually talking about this. Hell, in a way, him talking about this got it into my attention. So, if you really follow the line here, because Nicandros made a video about this drama, and I'm watching the Nicandros video.
People have made allegations that Mutahar knew much more than what he initially let on, and that the relationship between them was much closer than how Mutahar characterized it to ChudLogic on livestream.
We're not doing the podcast anymore. It's done.
Why?
We're supposed to film on Tuesday. Well, there's a couple reasons for it. A lot of that was obviously some of the Shad stuff too, because we were kind of sitting there, we're like, me and Caleb, we were just like, this is, I don't know, it's weird. We haven't done like a full background look onto what his content is or anything. Obviously, I was on a few collaborations with him when he was doing like fucking memes and like the game shows with like 15 fucking creators, and that's pretty much the extent.
So I need you guys to understand why I got so triggered by the MrBeast cancellation, even though I agree with it. The thing that canceled MrBeast first, to be clear, let me break down the timeline of events. For years, allegations came out against MrBeast claiming that he mistreated his workers, that he made up videos, that they were lies and staged, that he was paying people off to make the videos look better. Multiple ex-employees of MrBeast came out, and the response from the internet was, yeah, right, buddy, he's the guy who builds wells in Africa. Nobody was willing to call out MrBeast. Nobody who called out MrBeast got any support. It was an immediate flood of personal attacks and harassment if you dared to be someone who called out the guy who built schools and wells in Africa, right? But then MrBeast came out to publicly support his best friend, who came out as trans. Now, as you know, there's a lot of hatred for trans people out there right now, and a lot of people who were on the right that before were big MrBeast fans would never, for any reason, criticize him. They decided they no longer liked MrBeast. And things that were always there, that were always reasons to cancel MrBeast and could have always been lines that people drew, started to be drawn when before these things were kicked under the rug. Everything from previously existing allegations of wrongdoing on MrBeast's part from ex-employees that were before swept under the rug to people digging into publicly available videos that were always there and finding the famous image of MrBeast and Chris Tyson sitting in that room together with the Shadman commission in the background. I don't know if it was a commission, but it was like a purchase from Shadman by Ava Tyson. And so that image has been online, and that video has been publicly available online. Multiple videos with that in the background, I should say, has been publicly available online. And those videos were viral when they came out, by the way. They were big for the channel when they came out. This wasn't like some niche 1,000 view video. These were multi-million view videos where people saw lolicon art in the background and chose to ignore it and not give a fuck about it. Because at the time, might I remind you, people looked at Shadman as a meme. He was just memes. Just like how Mutahar described Nux Taku here, it was just memes. He was just an edgy guy, a provocateur, who's just super out there and weird and edgy, right? And so the reason MrBeast got canceled was always public, but no one gave a fuck and no one acted against MrBeast until there was enough pre-existing dislike that there was an audience to watch MrBeast hate content. And that audience started when MrBeast stood by his trans friend. I still think he should have been canceled. I'm just saying I think he should have been canceled years ago, considering what he was canceled for was publicly known and available for everyone to see for years and years and years, and it only became this supposed king what's the word for it? King destroyer for MrBeast when he publicly came out as pro-trans. And even then, after the shit got leaked, it's not really affected his sub count much anyway. But yeah, that's why that whole situation upset me so much, was because it was something that he should have been canceled for years ago, and it didn't end up being a problem for him until the right online turned against him and dedicated themselves to destroying him. And in this situation, it feels like, once again, the right content creator, in this case a conservative-leaning figure like Chud Logic, has called out the creepy, fucked behavior of Nux Taku, and instead of it coming off as some deranged, woke, whatever, that everyone, like, just attacks you for criticizing him and claims that you're being crazy and he's just edgy, now that the right kind of person has called out Nux Taku, not only are people agreeing that he's in the wrong, but they're trying to cover up how close they were to him before everyone decided that you weren't allowed to be friendly with him. I've hated this fucker for years, so I'm thrilled about this whole situation where people are calling him out. But, like, once again, these are situations where these people who are apparently just radioactive to be associated with were publicly supported by big content creators for years who had every way of knowing how weird they were, but said and did nothing about it because nobody on YouTube wants to be the guy that stirs up shit and starts something like this themselves. They want to join the bandwagon once it starts up. And that's what it feels like Mutahar tried to do here, and Chud Logic, to his credit, is stopping that in its tracks.
Of my collaborations.
You probably shouldn't be showing, porn like that on a website where, I know it's censored or whatever, but even censored stuff.
Oh, yep, here's the comments. Lol, here, what was that comment?
Porn
there?
like that on a website where, I know it's censored or
lol, me being a 10-year-old child.
whatever, but even
I am 7, and I'm not traumatized yet since the last time I've seen Rule 34.
censored stuff, like, you probably shouldn't be showing that.
What the fuck did I watch? I'm 10 years old, a boy.
Consistently to a website full of minors in the context of, like, haha, funny joke, and then
I'm just
who knows what
11.
they get into as a result of that. That's basically my takeaway.
Wait, you showed
So, yeah.
porn in those videos?
I mean, Nux's whole thing on YouTube is, like, porn reactions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, based on what he said, he never made any extensive background checks on Nux Taku's content or past.
And that's I'm gonna be real, that's a lie. Like, you don't collab with a content creator without knowing, like, what content they make. This lie gets called out blatantly, and I'm sorry, Muta, but, like, this is... I don't dislike you or anything here. I think you're in a pretty rough situation where something that I think you should have not done in terms of collabing with this guy. I think you should have called him out years ago, considering that you are a person who calls out weirdos online. But you're in a situation where something like associating with this guy, which was seen as completely fine for years. He has been a big YouTuber who has been shouted out and associated with and featured by large YouTubers for years and years, despite this being his content. All of a sudden, everyone is like, yo, this guy is weird. Why would anyone associate with him? And all of a sudden, Muta's in a situation where something that no one cared about yesterday is taboo today. So I get how that could... why he might be in a kind of a tough situation here. But the fact is, I'm not here to call out Muta like, oh, he should have known better, as like a moral attack on him. I'm calling out that he should have known better as a simple bringing of attention the fact that YouTube culture is in this weird place where careers can be ended for being outed as like a chomo or whatever, but like someone can make their career off of it like this and still associate with large YouTubers because they play it off as jokes and memes. It's really weird.
He did not know Nux Taku used pornographic materials in his content, and it should be noted that he said this right after Turkey Tom specified that such material was censored, and obviously not fully in view.
Oh, by the way, my buddy / editor Ethan is a professional Gooner hater, so I showed him this video because he might recognize some of the like popularly memed Gooner mangas and animes that Nux Taku shows here, and one of them in particular, Ethan was like, "Oh my fucking god," and explained it to me, and I responded with, "Oh my fucking god." So I'll explain what it is when we get to it, but like some context might be necessary to get some of the dog whistling, the anime community dog whistling that Nux Taku engages in a lot of his videos and thumbnails. I know this might sound silly, but there is full-on anime dog whistling. Like references to characters from animes that you would have to be a massive creep to recognize. Or know of the massive creeps that like it to recognize. And like the way that he includes it is to appeal to those creeps.
During the initial conversation with Chud, from which the entire drama saga started, he characterizes his relationship to Nux as much more distant than the one he has with Caleb, also known as Oompaville, the third host of his podcast, and said that they spoke about Nux's recently revealed Shadman connections and thought it was weird.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, some of the content creators who have, for a long time, been associated with Nux Taku are Oompaville, Some Ordinary Gamers, and Turkey Tom. And, like, I know Turkey Tom fucking despises Lolicon. I know Turkey Tom despises, frankly, Gooners. Like, he definitely despises Gooners, at least based on every conversation I've had with him, which is not many, but, like, he doesn't seem to like Gooners very much. So the idea that he would associate with Nuxtaku in the first place seems weird, but I also kind of respect the fact that he was one of the first to call out Nuxtaku when he found out about the Shadman associations. But then on top of that, it's like, how do you run a podcast with this guy and not know that he makes videos reviewing porn for 11-year-olds? Like, I mean, he knew. He actually called out Muta for not knowing, or claiming to not know.
He revealed Shadman connections and thought it was weird. He also claims to only have made meme collabs with him and has been on game shows with 15 other creators. We won't be exploring those game shows in this video, but this is what one of the thumbnails for them looks like. I just thought it was neat. Many people have made very schizophrenic statements about how much Mutahar is actually familiar with this side of Nuxtaku's content, claiming it's possible for a busy content creator to take a quick look at the material his co-host is uploading. It honestly stinks of the awful anti-Indian racism that's so prevalent on the internet today. Some people just can't help but look at a jolly person of color and assume all kinds of awful things about them. For that,
this YouTuber comes off as vaguely conservative at the very least, but he does make a good video here calling out and substantiating the call-outs very well. As you can imagine, though, considering these, like, this has started with Chud Logic calling out Nuxtaku and people, like, supporting him, a lot of the people who are now covering it are, like, in that right-leaning sphere of drama stuff, which is why I do think it's important that someone like me talks about it, because I've yet to see anyone on the left really giving attention to this and talking about this problem. Well, I mean, besides me, I've ranted about this tendency that I'm calling out now, where YouTubers, like, normalize and enable these weirdos because they're, just epic, edgy meme lords, and they've got a big audience, right? So they must be fine. I've been calling this out for years. I've been calling it out since before MrBeast got canceled for the Shadman stuff. I called out Shadman being normalized for years and years and years as an example of this. This has been an ongoing problem, and the next group of content creators that need to be gone after, I guess, would be like Pipka Pipkin, Rev Says Desu, these publicly pro lolicon creators that are pretty well accepted within normie YouTube space.
Reason I've made this exoneration video. Mutahar Nuent. We will be taking a look at the very first meme collab Nux did with not just Mutahar, but also Oompaville. They even have a funny meme anime girl on the thumbnail.
This was the thing that Ethan said, what? No, that's not a funny meme anime girl. And he proceeded to explain to me what that image is a reference to. It's a reference to a manga called Something Something Metamorphosis. That's the bit that I remember. And the story is about an underage girl, who you see there in the image, who gets raped by her father, or stepfather maybe, supposedly repeatedly, and the end of the story is her dying of an ectopic pregnancy in a bathroom, in a public bathroom. So, like, the inclusion of this image in the thumbnail is a dog whistle. I didn't recognize it. It's only my buddy who hates anime gooners that recognized it, because he knows the memes, the things that gooners post and what they're into, and the gross shit and the backstory. And he explained to me, if you see someone with, like, that profile picture, it's a good chance you're dealing with a fucking sicko if they have this, like, image, this face as the profile picture. Very normal manga enjoyed by very normal people. I've heard people that are not, like, I've heard women refer to it as like something that they like, but it comes off to me as either A, extremely sick fetish bait, or B, a very unhealthy way for women who've been sexually assaulted to cope with it. That seems to be the two groups that seem to like this, based on, like, what I've been explained and the few cases in which I saw people on Twitter talk about it. It's pornography, like, fully. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Oh yeah, that one game, The Coffin of Andy and Lele. That shit is like, it's apparently a decent horror game, but it has some like incest horror element where like there's an abusive dynamic that like it's meant to make you feel shitty or bad from what I've had explained to me, but the incest weirdos fawn over it. A good example of someone who's like a big stan of shipping the brother and sister in that game is Revsis Desu. And so, yeah, this is just an example of dog whistling to creepos in the anime sphere, what this guy is into. Like, if you recognize this profile picture or this image and want to click on it, then you're probably a fucking sicko, and that's what it's meant to signal. This is dog whistling. It is.
The video was
Xanderhall, I'm 100% certain whoever told you that is fucking with you. Is it really? Because someone else says, yes, hardcore pornographic doujinshi, the famous 6-digit it's linked with is the URL of a porn site. Okay. I don't know what the 6-digit thing it's linked with is, but yeah, the way I had it described to me by someone who I trust is that it's the shit that weirdo gooners are into, and if you see this image in a profile picture, put your guard up.
Was uploaded a whole year before they decided to make a 100-episode podcast with Nux. So this must have been an extra innocent, extra memey video.
100-episode podcast. You can't do 100 episodes of a podcast with someone and not know what their deal is, but this is the guy.
Gamers, and welcome back to another video. My favorite series has returned at long last. Me showing cursed memes to my friends and torturing them. Mutahar, welcome!
What's up, buddy? We are here for the fucking memes, aren't we?
This is your first time here, and I have to make a good impression.
The memes.
No problem. You've already made the perfect impression, man. You got me at like 5:30 watching memes on a nice work day.
Yo, what up, Nux Taku? What the fuck are we watching right now, by the way?
Great news! We are watching. Pay no attention to what's on screen yet. You didn't see the context, so it can't be that bad.
Okay.
I found a channel called
Memes
Boy.
Memes
Boy.
Memes
Boy. Probably not related to do with
Memes
at all. Probably
not.
So
Memes
Boy. I don't know how this channel exists, but they uploaded
memes. I gotta say,
this YouTuber edits in Muta saying memes from when he claimed that Nux just did meme videos. Whenever Mutahar in this video with Nux Taku from years ago says hentai, or incest, or loli, because it does get that fucking weird to the point where they're just watching loli, basically, and like, Muta and Oompaville definitely look uncomfortable, but it's played off entirely like, oh man, isn't Nuxtaku such a wacky guy, such an edgy, wacky guy? He makes his friends watch incest lolicon with him and freaks them out. It's just a joke, though, guys. It's just that they're meant to be weirded out by it, and Nuxtaku is just showing them things that's meant to be weird, you know? Is that stuff on their face? Yes. Yes. You can imagine what... This is Nicandros' censoring, by the way. This is not the censoring of the original video, and he's about to get into that in a moment. That the original video is far less censored than what we're about to see, and that this YouTuber who we're watching had to add extra censorship in order to feel safe uploading this video.
I'm impressed because we're at 00 in the time code, and this girl already has memes on her face. Like,
I really hate to interrupt all the funny memes, but I'm kind of a sensitive guy. And when I see memes that just aren't to my personal taste, I censor them with a mosaic like this. Nux
Yeah, I'm pretty sure even Moist Critical has collabed with Nux Taku, and they've looked at memes.
Taku's editor uses blurs, and if something hasn't been blurred, and I've decided to add a mosaic to it, it was originally completely uncensored.
So there you go. That image of the cum on the face of that character that was mosaic blurred was not originally censored. And Nicandros added that mosaic blur. So if you're wondering what wasn't even censored in the first place, look for the mosaic blur rather than like the blurry blur. And you know
I'd like to also
what had to be censored by this guy just to cover this.
add that this
Because Nuxtaku uses as little censorship as possible.
original video is fully non-age restricted and has full ads enabled.
on her face. Like, just already globules of memes. Right
Why are you saying this? How do you know this isn't yogurt?
that certainly is not the consistency of motherfucking yogurt, that's for sure.
Anime yogurt has a different, you know.
Oh, dude, look at the shading on the...
I love the tabs we have open. Hentai Thick Girl. Hentai Anime. Anime Hentai.
Yogurt. No, the memes. Let's just be real. That's straight. Look at the shading, dude. It's red.
God damn. So the plot here for the lovely story of Isekai
Memes.
Monogatari is as follows. It's about a dude who gets transported into another world while jacking
Memes. So he teleports to another dimension and
Something you're going to be able to pick up on here is how the obnoxious, like, fake... I don't even know how to describe it, but there's this weird tendency that I've noticed that, like, a small subsect of conservative, like, streamers do. I'm going to try to imitate how they talk. Well, hello, guys. I'm Xander Hall, and we're going to talk about these woke weirdos. Like, I can't even... It's almost like a fake New York accent. Dick Masterson does it. Flamenco, that one guy who is, like, obsessed with me and I think really wanted to see my dick. He did that like weird, almost subtly like borderline Boston, New York fake accent. I'm trying to think of other content creators that do it. What's that one guy? The guy, It's a Gundam. It's a Gundam does it too. Let me see if I can show a clip of, I think he does at least. I might be misremembering. It's a Gundam. You're gonna immediately, if I'm right about this, you're gonna immediately get what I'm talking about here.
The same video. I had every intention of ignoring Borderlands since it seemed like a film that was so bad it wasn't even worth pirating, let alone paying attention to. There was a reason why the film debuted with a 0 score from critics on Rotten Tomatoes, which I've never seen before in my entire life.
I don't know if there's just some place where people talk like this that conservative anime dudes come from, or if it's like a deliberate accent that they have given themselves to come off as cool and edgy. But like, you guys have noticed it, right? The fake like Boston-esque, New York-esque, nasally anime bro like accent. These same dudes want to lecture the rest of the internet on over masculinity, by the way. No, I'm simply talking about this weird, like, you guys have noticed the accent, right? Like, I'm not the only one who's noticed it. The basement accent, I don't know what it is, but it's like, I don't know.
as soon as the teleportation ends, he memes.
Yes. Now, you think that the plot just finishes there, gets transported to another world while jacking
Memes.
But what if I told you that his
Memes.
awakens the latent powers of women? They're in like an RPG dimension.
Oh,
it is also like, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like they're trying to talk like PewDiePie when he's doing that one joke voice, like, respect women. It sounds like they're trying to talk like that constantly. Is that Quite? Yes, Quite has also collabed with Nux Taku a lot, and I imagine it's not good, guys. Quite's also fully aware of some pretty sussy shit, too.
explains this is a gamer's fantasy, right?
Hell yeah.
She literally is about to cast a heal spell with memes on her face. What the
No, not just with it on her face. As I told you,
she's gonna eat it.
Let's go.
Oh my god, what the
He is the legendary
So the mosaic there means that wasn't censored, by the way.
hero summoned to another world where his
Memes.
gives women incredible power.
Sign me up. Where can I get a ticket?
Who would win, Thanos or girl
Not
with
age
anime?
restricted, by the
She
way.
ate all that memes. Thanos would be fucking a speck on the universe right there.
Whoa.
Man, they all just have like fucking big ass memes. I love how like the maid chick that just ate memes is like the most modestly dressed character out of this entire story.
She's dressed like a nun.
Yeah, she's like a nun that fucking eats like demon memes to destroy everything.
Are you naked?
Yeah, real. I'm sure I'd remember memes onto a nun's face in the middle of a battle. I don't think I'd forget that ever.
I think this is one of the most important lines to really understand exactly what his role is here.
You can activate a woman's latent power using your memes. Holy.
So for a while, it's just a little build-up with this video. I'm going to skip forward a little bit because for a while it's just like, yeah, Mutahar definitely knew that Nux Taku's thing is anime porn shit. But at a certain point, it gets to... Yeah, okay, I'm not even going to skip because it's about to get to it on its own. Never mind. Yeah, it's about to get to the point where not only can we tell that Nux Taku is a fucking creep, but everybody associated with him should have been able to tell. And if they didn't, then this is a perfect example of how that, like, oh, it's just edgy comedy, it's just memes, bro, normalizes some pretty fucking weird shit. And I really don't have a specific problem with Mutahar on this here. People definitely want to, like, bring him down. He's had more negativity around him than ever lately. So that's an aspect of it. And I noticed that he's been getting targeted with a lot of like racist attacks more than ever lately. Like it's always happened and he's always taken it on the chin and just laughed it off. It doesn't seem to bother him. But like I've noticed it's been worse than ever lately. I wonder if he's noticed the same. And it feels like it's exacerbated the desire to pin this on him. It almost feels like everyone wants to pin this solely on Muta, when I don't think that's a fair way to handle this. Nux Taku has been platformed and normalized by Turkey Tom, by Quite, by Oompaville. The idea that these large content creators should just, like, be ignored while we focus it on one guy who doesn't seem as apologetic about it, like, or is apologetic about it, but in the sense that he's not willing to be open about how much he associates. It's like, that's shitty, don't get me wrong, but this is a YouTuber problem. Like, this is a YouTube problem broadly, not a Mutahar problem. And hyper-focusing it on Mutahar, I think, does a disservice to calling out this trend of content creators ignoring lolicon, fetish, weird shit becoming popular on YouTube with big content creators. They'll call out nude yoga, but they won't call out someone like Rev Says Desu or Nux Taku trying to, like, push weird lolly shit on kids to get their sick jollies off or whatever.
Let's freaking go.
This is why Japan is just leading the Pac-Man. Goddamn.
How is this on YouTube? This is crazy.
That's what I'm telling you. That's why I was so...
Yeah, Muta should definitely take accountability for this. Don't get me wrong. I'm simply saying that, like, the energy needs to not be focused on one person. It needs to be focused on the problem at large, which is big YouTubers normalizing and looking past this behavior until everyone decides, I guess we're not going to do that anymore. That point happened with Shadman, and for years and years and years, all the big clouded up people normalized and memed with Shadman. The creators of Smiling Friends, buddies with Shadman, defenders of Shadman for years and years and years. Do you want to know what one of the first few people to call out Shadman was? Keemstar, because Shadman drew lolicon of his, like, 6 or 7-year-old daughter. After that, do you want to know what one of the other few first people to ever call out Shadman was? Destiny. And do you want to know what the response to Destiny for calling out Shadman was? Both the people behind Smiling Friends and, like, every big YouTube animator jumping down Destiny's throat to defend, what's his name? Shadman. Like, every big animator back then. Including Rubber Ross from Game Grumps, the fucking Smiling Friends guy, big defenders of Shadman. And he was publicly a lolicon back then. It's as believable they didn't know that he was making lolly as it's believable these guys didn't know that Nux Taku was making these videos. And they still associated with him, and they didn't denounce him, and all the people associated with him didn't denounce him and pretend they hated him until after the rest of the internet figured out what he was doing and didn't like it. And the general tide changed. I want more content creators to be the ones who change the tides for figures like Nux Taku and Shadman, rather than going with it and waiting until they feel it's safe enough to call out this type of bad behavior. It's a bad tendency to ignore this stuff, and it's too common.
Excited when I found this channel.
Memes.
Boy.
Memes.
He's about to get fucking deleted because of this video.
I find it rather odd that our
No. Sunshine RFF. To be clear, it's not that big YouTubers defend this stuff. It's that no one even talks about it until a certain point. No one talked about Shadbase being a pedophile until it got to be too much. And it spiraled. It like exploded in a month when everyone decided they weren't cool with Shadman anymore. This has been like an overnight thing with Nux Taku, where people hated him and thought he was annoying and called him out occasionally, but like broadly, he was normalized. He has a podcast with Turkey Tom, Oompaville, and Mutahar, right? Yeah, the Smiling Friends guys also backed JonTron back in the day. A lot of that had to do, though, with the fact that Destiny, to be fair, I should clarify, these YouTubers did not defend Shadman because they liked him, necessarily. They defended Shadman because they hated Destiny so much, because Destiny had said animation YouTubers are lazy and greedy, and if they just uploaded more, they'd make more money. Now, this is obviously pretty tone deaf when you consider how much work it takes to upload anything when you're an animation YouTuber. So animation YouTube hated Destiny because of this take, claiming that they don't make as much money because of their laziness. They did not like him because of that. And because Shadman was beefing with Destiny, they all chose to go after Destiny because they hated him already and join up with the pedophile because they all hated Destiny more than they hated the known pedophile at this point, even Shadman. And they just looked past it. It wasn't that people defended this behavior. They look past it and ignore it and pretend not to know until everyone figures it out, and they pretend like they never knew. That's how it always goes. And I just wish there was more proactivity with this stuff, you know? Like, they all knew what Nux Taku was up to. Why'd it take content creators calling it out and saying, why are you enabling this, for anyone to care?
Our host, who has no similarity to the weird porn-loving freak Nux Taku, acknowledges in the midst of making a YouTube video that the material they're making that YouTube video out of isn't appropriate for YouTube. So why still make the video?
The next episode is very wholesome and does not at all involve really weird brother-sister relationships.
It's called...
This is where it's going to start getting impossible to deny that these YouTubers knew what Nux was about. But they played it off as a joke. They just thought of it as a joke because Nux is big. The collab videos do well. Let's not stir the pot, huh?
Wait, what's the thing called? No, knee summer.
Do you know what knee means?
What's no, fill me again. Knee.
Doesn't
It
it mean
means
sibling?
sister.
Oh.
Okay, well, close. I know, like, Oni-chan, but wait, doesn't that mean, like, brother? Like, oh, Oni-chan. Isn't that, like, the anime meme for, like, oh, hi, brother? Doesn't that mean sibling? Yes? Wait, so it doesn't even mean sister. Yeah, I assumed it meant sibling. Big brother, I think? Oh, wait, what? Wait, why is knee in that? Okay, you know what? I don't understand the Japanese language in the slightest, so we're just gonna drop that. I don't know. White man discovers other language. Fucking real. Oni means older brother. Oh! Yeah, listen, guys, I don't watch a lot of anime. Do you guys want to know what animes I've seen in my life? I've seen Attack on Titan, peak. Cyberpunk Edge Runners, really good. Really liked it. Not as good as Attack on Titan. Death Note, really good. I think I like Attack on Titan more. And I think I've seen another. I've seen a good amount of Chainsaw Man and a little bit of One Punch Man. I like Chainsaw Man. It's pretty good. I haven't finished the first season, but I didn't get the ending spoiled for me, but I got a particular character's death spoiled for me from the manga, and it was so cool, I had to watch the show. I'm not joking. The way a character dies is so fucking cool in the manga. I was like, man, I want to watch the show now so I can, like, see that, like, done in live, like, animation. That sounds raw as fuck. If you know Chainsaw Man, then you know what I'm talking about. It's a very creative, interesting, and surprising and, like, fucked way to have to kill a character that's not good. That's all I'll say. If you've read the manga, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Had that spoiled for me, it was like, shit, that goes hard.
Holy shit, she's got more memes.
This is my cousin.
What the fuck?
She's one of my many cousins who's willing to help a younger brother cousin like me.
Oh, Sweet Home Alabama, here we go.
What the hell does that even mean?
I don't know, dude. Like a younger brother
Memes.
cousin, bro. When you start mixing like 3 or 4 different fucking relations to each other, that gets me wild, man. Wait, you showed porn in those videos?
Dude, she stole his
Well, he's definitely joking there, but regardless, it's like, you know what this reminds me of? You ever see, like, when you were younger, like, you were, like, I don't know, let's say you're in, like, 5th grade or 6th grade, and you ride the bus home from school, and you sit in the back with, like, the 8th graders or whatever, like, the older kids, and they, like, to try and fit in with that group of older kids, you start acting different to try and fit in. That's what this reminds me of a little bit. Does anyone else get that vibe? Like Mutahar, and even like Oompaville and Quite and Turkey Tom are here, and they're suppressing their desire to say, bro, this is fucking weird. Why are you showing me this? Like, what the fuck's the matter with you? just because they feel they don't want to be like the prude who ruins everybody's fun when they're just joking and memeing around. And so that like a standard for jokes that would never pass outside of the setting is passing for these guys because they don't want to be the like fuddy-duddy who kills the fun and the memes, you know?
His phone.
Yeah,
and showed him the picture that he was
memes.
to.
Man, that is like the fucking sister that isn't like in tune with your brain right there.
Yeah, right? And then she blackmails him to
fuck. Oh my god. Dude, what a terrible tragedy this kid is going through. Fuck, man.
I mean, I guess I'm a little bit of a soy boy, but being blackmailed into a relationship with your blood relative is kind of a bad thing, right? It's not being exactly a hecking decent person, right?
But anyway, we all want to know how he managed to take that picture, right? Obviously, it all started on a nice spring day with cherry blossoms everywhere.
The perfect idyllic day to take a nice fucking candid shot, right?
And he's like, oh my god, let me take my 1946 phone to take a picture of him.
Who is he, Dr. Disrespect?
The flip phone. This is the best line.
Wait, hold on.
And he's like, oh my god, let me take my 1946 phone to take a picture of him.
Who is he, Dr. Disrespect?
Note, this video is from 2021. That's a reference to when Dr. Disrespect got banned from Twitch temporarily for streaming inside of a bathroom at TwitchCon for a few seconds. That is a joke that, in hindsight, makes a lot more sense years later.
The flip phone. This is the best line. This really got me. It completely destroyed the immersion.
Oh, wait, it's the same pronunciation. O-N-I means brother. O-N-E-E equals sister. Huh. And Zan equals younger. Which is true. I'm young, so that's Zan. Yeah, true. Accurate.
I can't believe that. Oh, I'm sure you didn't.
But this is when God comes.
Oh, dude, come on, God, dude.
Let's go.
As you know, that like type of pixelation there means that the original video is uncensored in that scene, and that this YouTuber had to add a mosaic sensor to not have it be showing the upskirt of this character that I don't remember the age of, but if I remember the video right, where it's about to get into, this character might not be an adult.
God is the greatest wingman of all time.
God's like, sure, buddy, you get to fuck your hot sister. I'll give you something more too. Fuck it.
I guess I'm not very familiar with modern day meme culture, because that just seems weird.
It is quite beautiful. I love this RuneScape.
Thank you, Win Sensei.
Yo!
I will say, it does fill me with happiness that every year, it feels like we're getting a little less tolerant of, it's just edgy memes, bro, as an excuse for anything, right? Like, obviously people still get away with, it's just edgy memes, bro, for saying or indicating like weird racist shit. Everyone just takes that as a meme, and a lot of people don't consider racism to be like evil in the same way that people consider pedophilia to be evil. So, you know, people don't really get mad about that kind of stuff. But here, it feels like as time goes by, the internet's getting a little bit less tolerant of this stuff every year. Like, Nux Taku getting canceled was always going to happen. Eventually, people were going to be like, what the fuck is this guy's deal? Like, eventually that was going to happen, always. Especially with the direction the internet's gone in, where there's actually a decent amount of internet policing, self-policing when it comes to people being outed as chomos. Not Dr. Disrespect, though. Returned with record viewership after admitting to texting a minor. But overall, this is the kind of thing that we're getting less and less tolerant to, even if you're just playing it off as jokes and memes. Back in the day, Shadman was drawing loli and playing it off as jokes and memes. That was the standard online in 2013 to 2016, was that you could draw lolicon and play it off as jokes and memes, and people bought that shit. And that's how Shadman got by for so long, publicly drawing child porn and being regularly platformed by the guys who made Smiling Friends and countless other big YouTubers, especially in the animation sphere. Eventually, years passed and people look back at especially some of the like years old cases of Shadman posting things and doing things and start to go, ayo, what the fuck? Maybe in 2014 that kind of stuff was seen as edgy memes and jokes, but in 2017, you're drawing lolicon, that shit's gonna end you, right? And it no longer got taken as the joke that people shrugged it off as for years and years and years, and they took it seriously. The same thing is happening with Nux Taku right now. It's going to happen to other content creators too, and I'm so glad we're heading in that direction. But boy, would I prefer if it was faster, you know? I would really prefer if it was quicker, that like these things stop being played off as jokes and accepted as jokes or memes. They're not jokes or memes. No one jokes about being a pedophile because they find that funny. No one finds it funny for people to, as a joke, think that they're a pedophile, okay? Like that's just it's not the type of humor that normal, well-rounded, good people engage in. It's that level of out of good taste that it's a red flag to even engage in it, in my opinion.
Oh, yo, the wind blows for us gamers. Check this out. That's pretty huge.
That is pretty huge. That's massive.
The rest of it's just different cousins and stuff.
Wait, he's got more hot cousins? Fuck.
No, this dude has tons of cousins. It's all about the cousins. We have the ultimate little sister survival guide that will teach you the right way to get to the trending page on Pornhub.
Oh, God.
This is the 5 rules of handling your younger sisters.
What the?
These are the 4 younger sisters.
Oh. Bro, they're fucking exceptionally young.
Fucking exceptionally young.
Jesus Christ. Did Nux do anything illegal or something?
Since Mutahar and
I feel like from the voices that we heard there, we could kind of... I think I could come up with a mental image of, like, the rough age of like, the voices I was hearing. So, yeah.
Nuxtaku are both Canadian citizens.
Yeah.
Allow me to introduce you to Part 5 of the Canadian Criminal Code, Section 163.1, Subsection 1. Also known as the definition of child pornography, when the law says a photographic, film,
Man, you know shit's gotten serious when you gotta whip out this document. What the fuck?
video, or other visual representation, whether or not it was made by electronic or mechanical means, that shows a person who is or is depicted as being under the age of 18 years and is engaged in or is depicted as engaged in explicit sexual activity.
Yeah, low-key, Canada's kind of giga-based for this. Lolicon is illegal in Canada, as in, like, you'll be charged equivalent to owning, like, real child porn if you have Lolicon in Canada. Fucking based, dude. God damn. I don't know what's going on in Canada. Their lawmakers seem to be a little more caught up on the times, but we have not had anything close to a similar law in America. So Lolicon is legal in America, unfortunately, because it's protected as, like, art or something. I don't know. There's some First Amendment protection, apparently, for it. But in a lot of other countries, they've already caught the law up with it and recognize it as child porn, because even though it's drawn, it is meant to fulfill the sexual desires of pedophiles, and that's all that matters in the grand scheme of things. You're feeding the paraphilia of predators, and that's not good. So based Canada.
The term person does not only apply to real flesh and blood human beings, but as the Canadian Supreme Court decision R.V. Sharp determined, also fictional minors as well. The rationale for this decision is that with developing technology, it's hard to tell apart child porn featuring actual children and material made through compositing, aka Photoshop, or computer generations.
And AI as well. I did a whole segment about this. A very scary amount of AI-generated porn images in South Korea are of underaged K-pop singers. In fact, over 60% of all AI-generated porn is of South Korean women. So much so that it's such a uniquely South Korean problem that women are facing, from the realm of creating, revenge porn to the training of the AI off of underage models and then being used to make pornography of underage models. The government and the culture of South Korea is heavily mobilizing against AI porn. It is evil. AI porn, no matter what, is immoral to consume. It's trained off of children, and underage girls do not ever go anywhere near it. It is literally immoral to engage with. AI porn is. It's revenge porn? Yeah, it's revenge porn for sure, but it's not even just that. It's that, like, no matter what you generate with it, that AI was trained off of underage people, and, AI porn is inherently evil in that way. There's no way to know where it was trained off of. In a lot of cases, studies have been found that it's trained off of underage people. This is a whole different, can of worms to open up, but I did a segment about it if you want to learn more. I think it's called something like South Korea declares war on AI revenge porn. I thought it was a good video.
When they adopted this law, the Canadian Parliament determined that child pornography is harmful because it promotes cognitive distortions, it fuels fantasies that incite offenders to offend, it's used for grooming and seducing victims, and finally, in the case of child porn involving real children, children are abused. Mutahar told Chad Logic, Nicholas Diorio, and Turkey Tom that he didn't know Nux Taku used porn in his videos. He said he collaborated with him on
I will say, the bias is pretty clear here. Notice how the framing of this is that Muta argued to Turkey Tom that he didn't know. Meanwhile, Turkey Tom did a podcast and collabed with Nux Taku as well. Though we'll get into a moment why Turkey Tom's getting a little less shit. He was a little less willing to not... Like he was willing to call out some of this stuff to a degree, but not to the degree that I feel should give him a complete, pass, you know what I mean? Like, he's still on those podcasts with Nuxtaku too. Bro was still a degenerate gooner all this time. There's never been, some bizarre change out of nowhere.
Games and game shows, but here he is looking at media that in the moment he recognized as lolicon, which legally in Canada is considered...
Oh, shit. Wait, are these, tags for that thing? So so what I think this is are tags for the video, the porn video that they watched on that video. The tags are anal, armpit licking, hold on. Anal, armpit licking, armpit sex, blowjob, clamp, defloration, that sounds fucking awful, FFM threesome, foot job, group, hand job, harem, incest, kimono, kissing, loli, mosaic censorship, nakadashi, pantyhose, sister, sleeping, sock job, and urination. Just to finish it off with a little something light. Urination.
Child pornography. Illegal to view, illegal to possess, and illegal to distribute. But the guy he's good friends with behind the scenes, the guy he doesn't want to burn, Nux Taku, has
They don't want to burn him, they're still friends. Ooh.
filmed him doing this and is distributing it on YouTube with the name of the animation visible in the original video for anyone to search up and access themselves. No.
Of course, yeah. Of course Nux makes sure that the gooners who watch him know where to look for the original thing he's covering. Of course he does that.
Age restriction.
And of course the kids too that watch, because as we've established, he makes videos where it's just like, if I go to his channel now, his most recent video will almost certainly be a reaction to an old episode of Adventure Time. It annoys me so much because Adventure Time is one of my favorite animated shows, but apparently he's never seen it before because, any time one of his dog shit videos ends up in my recommended, it's because YouTube knows I like Adventure Time and recommends his reactions to it, and it's always gooner baiting Adventure Time. It's like, Marceline did what to Finn? And it's a reference to, that one scene where she, kissed him on the cheek or, as a joke, smacked him on the butt to fuck with him, because that's what Marceline used to do. And he'll make the whole video title, the thumbnail might literally be some hentai of Adventure Time, and then the title is something like sexual and clickbaity, but the video is him reacting to a kid's show and cracking constant sex jokes, many of them borderline pedophilic, if not outright so, throughout the entire thing. That's the content he puts out to attract a young audience, and then the rest of it is this shit.
Surely, in this moment, he announces his disgust and says, "I'm not doing a podcast with you, you maladjusted freak." But Mutahar is unfortunately bound by powers beyond our understanding.
My God.
I will say, it is a pretty wild trend that everyone who's received dude, if I open my mailbox one morning to find a fucking Chris Chan medallion in there, I'm getting a goddamn, picker-upper, like one of those little sticks that you pick things up with. I'm picking it up with that, taking it into the street, dousing it in lighter fluid, and burning it, okay? I'm making sure not to even touch it. It's gonna be like the cheese from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, okay? Like, I'm pretty sure the curse passes on if I make any physical contact.
Go-to rule is when there's ever an anime character that looks like they're 10 freaking years old, they're probably 900-year-old cum vampires.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, that's the best rule to follow. Obviously, if you're supposedly not a degenerate fucking weirdo pedophile, yeah. Nux Taku's a fucking creep. I mean, do I even need to make the case anymore? I've been ranting so much, but I feel the video does a good job on its own.
And they've lied in wait for far too long.
These are the four horsemen of the apocalypse we're looking at right now. This is like some mythological.
They've been around since long before civilization.
Exactly.
Wait, you should more in those videos?
This is the 5 rules of the Onami household.
Okay.
These are the little sisters, by the way.
Okay, this is a hentai?
First rule, hug your little sister every day.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, it's just hug her for at least 10 seconds. There's nothing wrong with a hug. Yeah, it's fine.
No, the third rule isn't any weirder, so you don't have to worry.
Oh.
Make sure to sniff your younger.
Maybe there's some kind of a contract that...
I see what you mean by how weirdly normal Nuxtaku looks now. For a guy that's into this shit, he looks unsettlingly normal. A reminder that even that normal-looking dude who just walked past you could be a Nuxtaku.
If you appear in a Nuxtaku video, you have to be like all the way into it. You can't show disgust, you can't say, what the fuck is this? You can't be like, I don't want to watch this. Maybe.
I was actually in a Nux Taku video at one point. I was in a video with Willie Mac. With Willie Mac, we were in a video. I want to say it was 6 months ago, maybe. We're in a video.
Like, see what I mean when I say, like, I would have preferred... I appreciate that Turkey Tom's calling it now, but, like, calling it out now, but let's be real. Like, the fact that this video didn't last 2 minutes with Willie Mac show immediately saying, what the fuck are you showing us, you creep? And then they didn't immediately go and make videos calling Nuxtaku out as a lolicon after this. The fact that it was just like what you'll see in a moment is a good example of the worst case scenario for these content creators that are like Nuxtaku. That at worst, you'll get maybe some snide remarks about you, but like no one's going to dedicate themselves to taking you down like they are now.
And he showed us something very weird. I remember getting somewhat upset about it, not liking it that much. It was me, him, and Quite. Fuck. I want to say it was something involving a dog too, but I honestly don't remember exactly what it was. But it was something involving some kind of dog and some kind of girl. But I don't remember if there was some kind of intercourse. But I think there was a very...
No, when I say looking normal, Chainsaw Chimera, I mean usually when you see what these lolicon dudes look like in real life, they literally look like they were designed in a character creator to be the quintessential gooner basement-dwelling incel. This guy looks like a normal dude, even perhaps a little, like, above average looking. All the while, his, like, online personality is like, hey guys, oh yeah, we're gonna watch some hentai. Oh, it'd be crazy if they were underage in it, huh guys? That's his videos, and I genuinely can't stand it.
A nasty implication, and I was like, why the fuck are you showing this to me? And he was like, it's just memes, man. And that was kind of my...
Very good impression from Turkey Tom there. It's just memes, man. Fucking hate that guy.
On him, he's just like a retarded person from that perspective, but yeah.
So this is just about a really horny dog?
No, it's about a really horny girl.
This is what you watch, Nux? Why? You can watch this on YouTube? That's a fucking ass! Ass, straight up!
This dog has the same facial expression as Tom, bro.
Whoever made this needs to be in jail.
Tom, how would you rate this show on a scale of 1 to 10?
I mean, 10 out of 10 is in, like, I'm definitely gonna be reporting this to the authorities and hopefully calling in, like I'm gonna SWAT the headquarters of whoever made this. Something terrible is gonna befall them.
I want to emphasize here that what Turkey Tom says here, as far as I'm aware, is the most pushback Nuxtaku has ever gotten blatantly from a guest. And even this was pretty soft when you think about it. This is years ago. Turkey Tom says what he says here, but I guess did not designate Nuxtaku as a creep that should be gone after, right? And so I respect Turkey Tom in some respect for this, but I also am like, why does he get that much credit when it's like, man, this guy's been around just doing his shit for years and you knew? Like, you've got a platform. Your whole thing is, like, taking down weirdos, man. Like, I want to see this. Like, I hope at least now maybe we get a Turkey Tom video on this guy, but I would have liked to see this sooner, right? Like, my whole criticism here is that there's some, like, arbitrary point when people decide to call this shit out instead of it being called out when it's been evidently a problem for years even.
10.
I mean, 10 out of 10 is in like, I'm definitely gonna be reporting this to the authorities and hopefully calling in like I'm gonna SWAT the headquarters of whoever made this. Something terrible is gonna befall them. Yeah, terrible. Yeah, not good. Whoever made that needs to be in a government institution.
They made an
tortured in Guantanamo Bay, waterboarded. The most.
I am never going to pretend that someone laughing at degenerate lolly on the internet is the same as unironically consuming it. It's such a lame pearl clutch. From Willie Mac Show. Oh no. There it is, guys. The it's just edgy jokes defense that people ran with until the inevitable soon-to-be fall of Nux Taku. I'm never going to pretend that someone laughing at degenerate lolly on the internet, that's the framing of this, is the same as unironically consuming it. It's a lame pearl clutch. I like Willie Mac Show, and I don't think he's in favor of Lolicon here, but this is just blatantly him defending, collabing with, and platforming, or being platformed by, I don't know the exact situation, a Lolicon thing. This is a comment under Chud's Mutahar confrontation highlight. Wait, Willie Mac Show is doubling down on it in response to Chud Logic's correct calling out of this, enabling of this fucking weirdo. Man, I hate to say it, but Chud's the unsung hero here, like legit. Like, Chud should get more credit. I don't like the guy. The guy fucking hates me to the point of wanting me dead, but fuck, dude. Like, I don't give a shit about that. Like, I'm gonna be real. His opinion on me does not matter at all. It has no effect on me. What does affect me is the feeling of disgust and emptiness that I get realizing that the platform that I make my living on hosts people like Nuxtaku, and that figures who are massive and well respected in this space normalize and enable people like Nuxtaku. It upsets me. I exist in this platform. I watch videos on it. I make content on it. I make my living on it. I don't want this platform to ever be associated with the normalization or endorsement of this type of content.
The most vitriolic torture techniques, mustard gas, fuck this shit.
Yeah, so based on me watching the bits of the episode where Turkey Tom appears, he is constantly very uncomfortable and complaining and isn't having a fun time at all. So he told the truth. Mutahar didn't.
I just want to emphasize, as good as it was of Tom, that is the worst that Nux has gotten up to this point. That was the worst and most severe pushback he'd ever gotten to this point, was Tom kind of jokingly, but really not. I mean, he's definitely disgusted by it, but at the same time, wouldn't a more appropriate response be, dude, why'd you just show me Lolicon? I'm swatting you, bro. Like, that should have been his response. Like, if he said that, I'd be like, tear wiped from my fucking eye, dude. Like, that's what I want to see.
What?
All right, what are your thoughts on the third rule?
That's bizarre. We're traveling outside the boundaries, I feel like, of what's acceptable in the 21st century.
What do you mean with affection, man? I'm not gonna hug her with anger.
I hug people with no affection on a regular basis.
Same here. But not little sisters, goddammit.
Exactly.
Never forget them. Sniff them well. Those are the 5 rules of the Onami household. Nice and wholesome, right?
Give them at all. I will not
sniff them well. God, I hate that dude's fucking voice, and how he plays off his degen perversions as a joke.
They then fuck.
Anything. Wait, they fuck?
Well, I mean, we kind of lost the forest for the trees on this one. We clearly got the undertones without needing to actually watch the sex scene between the brother and the little sister, so we'll skip that, I guess.
Yeah.
For that reason only. And then the big brother selected one of them for tonight's night of gaming. They're going to be playing Smash Bros. And sis.
Okay.
Wonder what they're talking about.
I don't know. I wish there were
Definitely not
subtitles.
I don't even know what's happening on screen at this point, but I'm assuming it's so fucked that the fact that this YouTuber had to mosaic the whole thing, it's that bad.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Hinty boy is gonna survive another day, ladies and gents. Let's go.
He did a good job. He did a good job censoring that.
Yeah. Because we don't want to talk about what's gonna be overflowing in a minute.
Oh my god.
I wish to point out that the videos that they are watching for this video that is not age restricted are age restricted. And they know it. They acknowledge it while watching them for a YouTube video that will not be age restricted and will have full ads.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, YouTube doesn't give a shit. If you're a big enough content creator, whether you're putting on like a kimono, a straw hat, fake buck teeth, and like glasses, which is what Steven Crowder did, and then doing basically a minstrel show where he proceeds to like drown like white girl dolls because apparently that's what Asians do or something. I don't even know what his racist claim is. I don't even know what he was trying to say with that racist claim. Like normally, like if I watch like a minstrel show by a white supremacist, usually I would expect that I at least get what racist point they're trying to make, and I can be like, oh, well, that's bullshit. He's trying to say so-and-so, and here's why that's wrong. But with that, I couldn't even, like, put a finger on what the claim is, you know? YouTube didn't give a fuck. Like, YouTube doesn't give a fuck if you're breaking their TOS against hate speech, and they don't give a fuck if you're breaking their TOS against posting child exploitation, so long as you make enough money and get little enough controversy that everyone, even the website YouTube, are willing to look the other way. A really good example of this is the Vosh lolicon folder, too. Like, Vosh definitely took a pretty big hit when that stuff leaked, but, man, isn't it wild how many big progressive lefty creators continue to associate with him and are cool with him, even though he has literally leaked his porn folder with lolicon in it on stream? Like, to a certain point, it feels as though it doesn't matter if you're left or right, as long as people want to believe you're chill, they'll just let you get away with murder. And if they don't want to like you in the first place, they'll crucify you for nothing. And this is a great example. Nux Taku has literally gotten away with murder in a DM with what's can't come out with Westside Tyler as well. Really extreme. Her fan base don't care. Like at the end of the day, they have gotten away with murder in the realm of content creation. And a bias has protected them. The same goes for Nux Taku, and it's not just a right-wing thing. Let's not pretend this is something exclusive to conservative creators.
I have to say, like, how does this get hit with community guidelines? Like, there's nothing.
Yeah, bro, nothing happened. It's wholesome. They're just hugging littles. I don't understand it either.
Yeah, this is, dude. YouTube, you're really fucking, loli.
Come on, you continued to associate with Vosh after that? Did I? As far as I know, I dared to attempt to do a friendly debate with him, and he lost his fucking mind. And I said, okay, well, do I care about trying to be even like chill with you at this point? If you're not only a fucking weirdo, but you're not even willing to have a political debate. I just wanted to have a political debate with Vosh about the bad content he was making to hopefully convince some people in his fan base that this anti-Biden stuff is not really helping anybody if you're an American and you're going to be affected by this election. I don't want to go against him super hard if I'm going to convince any of his fans. But when it got to the point where his response to me calling out, I mean, I kid you not, I know how sensitive that dude is. I did my best to be as chill and cordial in my call out as possible so it could be a productive debate that could convince people. And he lost his fucking mind. At that point, it's like, okay, well, now I'm not even willing to debate you on, like, decently level grounds. Someone I talked to told me it was just one pick in the folder. Yep, there's a lot of people who make excuses for it.
Unfriendly lately, dude. I'm just gonna be real with you.
And
anyways,
the 5 rules of the Onami household, and then the...
You did for a little bit before the really bad stuff came out. So Ride the Rails, are you talking about dramas prior to him leaking his porn folder? Because the really bad stuff came out when he leaked his porn folder. Like, there was no and really bad stuff came out later moment. It was he leaked it, people screenshotted it, censored it, it went viral on Twitter and everyone talked about it, and then a lot of the left was just like, eh. And they're still chill with them.
The next scene is presumably a fight scene that we're not going to be talking about.
Right, or a political, like, debate scene, I think.
That's the glorious hentai that I had to show you today.
I have to say, all of the plot lines.
Glorious hentai. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Was it just 2 images? Was it just 2 images? I think it was 2, but even if it was 2, it's like, dog, any amount of lolicon, you have to make excuses for being on someone's hard drive, and you are just, you don't even realize, you don't even realize how far on the underfoot you are here. Like, come on, like, just drop it, dude. Anyway, the only reason I bring it up, guys, the only reason I bring it up is that it's not just a right-wing thing. It's not just a right-wing thing. It's really not. There are tendencies in every community to ignore this type of behavior. Even other things that aren't as bad or are tangentially as bad, like sort of like a side grade of bad. gets looked past if there is an already existing bias, you know? Along with the weird, yeah, and also the AI-generated bestiality stuff, too, which is bad for reasons we got into earlier with what it's trained off of. Same goes for, like, computer-generated horse stuff like he had. I think the references to the really bad stuff was the Vosh video controversy from 2019. Vosh video what could you be referring to? Are you talking about, like, when he got in trouble because he had, like, sexually harassed that lady? That was what I thought originally was, like, the worst thing ever. And I was like, well, you know, he apologized for it. And if he doesn't repeat that behavior, I can't say he's, like, a awful human being forever because of one potentially just autistic mistake he made. But, man, downloading that shit and having it is worse than, like an autistic mistake, right? Like, come on. We're talking pretty different scenarios here where it's like, oh, so you just have that now. That's very different. I remember a pillow brush off the Fawn showed a tweet saying it was a joke by Fawn before it was found Fawn was into that stuff. Yeah. Like, I need to emphasize here that the left does not get a clean slide on this, guys. This isn't some conservative tendency like you guys in chat have been saying. There's some fucked up shit. Ooh, another really good example. Holy fuck. This is an example of someone who just got away with, like, multiple rapes. Andrew Callahan with Channel 5 News got away with, like, being a serial rapist. It's actually crazy. So much to the so to the point where I knew a Andrew Callahan victim who never came forward publicly and simply told me about their experience just so that I'd know the allegations are true and not have any doubt, but insisted I don't, you know, make their identity public and all that. So of course I won't. But yeah, Andrew Callahan got outed as a rapist. He's now bigger than ever. He raped like dozen or so women, if I remember correctly. And that's only the people who came public, by the way. And he's bigger than ever now. He's huge. That's got to be a bit soul-crushing. Yeah. It's because despite being a predominantly progressive content creator, people on the left loved Andrew Callahan's Channel 5 stuff so much they were willing to convince themselves that all these allegations were false. And he took like a few months away, so people let themselves forget and told themselves the allegations were false. Maybe a combination of the two. There you go. Oh no. Yeah, I'm aware of how big of a problem it is. Thank you for the $10 super chat. The new guy in red says, if loli stuff so terrible, why it's so mainstream in Japanese fiction? Obviously, this is sarcasm. Not just in hentai, but anime made like Made in Abyss and gushing over magical girls. And how can we stop this flood? Yeah. Basically, there is no stopping the flood, but I will say, the desire to make it illegal, I think, is one that should be followed through on. Now that I know that Canada has already made it illegal and a lot of other Western nations have already said, yeah, no, this shit is not okay, it's like, oh yeah, what are we even doing at this point? Like, I thought for a while that there wasn't any laws against it anywhere, outside of maybe a few examples. Now that I know it's generally the rule, the trend that it's illegal, it's like, why the fuck is this shit not illegal here? They will let a serial rapist go scot-free, meanwhile drag Xan through the mud over private Fed posts. Well, of course, yeah. Like I said before, some people can do, in the grand scheme of things, nothing and get crucified over it, while people like Nux Taku, Rev Says Desu, Shadman for years and years and years can be publicly pedophiles and get away with it. Or I guess Nux Taku's case, I guess we don't know if he's like a pedo, but I mean, in my opinion, I don't think someone who's not a pedo would be in any way, shape, or form the way that Nux Taku is. That's just my opinion, though. That's just my personal opinion. Anyway, if you enjoyed this segment, despite the absolutely soul-crushing content of the segment, then consider dropping a like. It really does help a lot. Every thumbs up helps to push my content and the algorithm out to more people, which means potentially more people watching my stuff who've never seen it before. So I really do appreciate it if you do that. Comment down below to boost the content as well, and subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already, so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video. And of course, consider following my social medias, linked down below in the description if you want to see more from me, and perhaps even follow my Discord server, or join my Discord server. It's totally free. It's the main hub of my community. I also host game events, call-in streams, and watch parties there, and I announce all my new uploads and streams there in the announcements as well. So if YouTube somehow does not tell you when I go live or upload, at least my Discord will. And finally, if you want to support me directly financially, it'll be a big help if you donate, subscribe, or gift a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Streamelements, Patreon, or buying merch at the Streamlabs link down below as well. But thank you so much for watching, regardless of how you support the channel, even if you're just a lurker. It really means a lot. You mean a lot. And thank you. Once again. Have a good one.